Does your child keep getting up after their nighttime routine is over and you've put them in bed? In this short video, I'm going to give you a very specific plan and allow you to have an evening of rest and them to get a full night's sleep. Hi, I'm Holly McLean, the Mommy Answer Lady. I'm a certified parent educator and a mother of 9, and I'm all about helping parents stop struggling. So take a moment right now and subscribe to this channel and hit that notifications button. So you put your little one to bed and a few minutes later they're up and asking you for a drink, saying they have to go potty, or just saying they can't sleep. Here are the first steps you need to take to end that behavior for good. After these steps, I'll lay out a simple and direct plan for you. Number 1, have a clear bedtime routine. The first key to effectiveness in parenting is consistency, but the secondary key is clarity. Your child needs to have a clear knowledge of the expectations you have for them regarding bedtime. I don't think stickers are a good idea, but a routine picture chart is a really good way to set the standards for bedtime with little children and to make it clear what happens next. If you look on this channel, you will find another video that talks about bedtime routines for toddlers. So make a picture chart that shows exactly what they do for bedtime. Make sure the last item on the chart is stay in bed. There will be another video in this bedtime series about the nighttime routines for children that will give more specifics on that. I'm sure you have experienced the untrained child's bedtime routine. I call it the never-ending drink of water, go to the bathroom, get another toy, I'm hungry, read another story, I'm scared bedtime routine. We've all seen that bedtime routine and it needs to end. So to keep your child from putting that routine into action, do number 2. Number 2 is make sure all their needs are taken care of before bed. That means in addition to the other things you do with them before bed, like brush teeth, take a bath, etc., make sure they have had a small sip of water, had a snack sometime during the evening, they have gone to the bathroom or had a diaper change, and you have implemented the instructions in the Fear of the Dark video on this channel, which says to give them a large stuffed toy that they should hug when they feel afraid. I will put a link in the description below for the Night Light stuffed toy that works really well to train your child to get used to being in the dark by themselves. By making sure all their needs are met, you can have confidence that if they get up, they're getting up as a manipulation tactic and it is pure and clear willful disobedience. Number 3, be consistent with naps and bedtime. The more consistent you are with a regular routine of naps and bedtime, the easier it will be to train your child to comply with your instructions about staying in bed. When routines are interrupted or not in place at all, children feel a sense that they can manipulate the situation. Number 4, have a conversation to explain all your expectations. Before you start the method I'm going to explain to you, have a sit-down conversation with your young child. Face-to-face and eye-to-eye, tell them bedtime needs to change. They will be expected to stay in bed after their routine chart is completed. If they do not, you will have to apply a consequence. The conversation doesn't have to be long, just a heads-up kind of thing, so they will know something is going to be different than it has been in the past. Let them know there will be only 3 reasons they can get out of bed. 1 is a fire, 2, an injury that includes blood, 3, they have vomited or peed in their bed. Otherwise, they are to stay in their bed. That is very clear and to the point. Make sure they understand these 3 basic reasons to get out of bed if they're old enough to understand. That would be starting at about 2 or 3 years old. So here's the plan. Each time your child gets out of bed, you say nothing except asking the same 3 questions. Number 1, is there a fire in your room? Number 2, are you bleeding? Number 3, have you vomited or peed in your bed? If the answer is no, there are 2 pathways to ending the problem of your child getting out of bed when they shouldn't. One is long and takes more time and patience. The other is quick and to the point and ends the episodes much faster. But both work. You can choose which you want to apply depending on your own parental ideas. First, I'll tell you the long way. If the answer to each of the 3 questions is no, have no other conversation with them. Tell them to go back to bed. Do not engage in any other speaking whatsoever. If you have to, take them by the hand and lead them back to bed. Do not speak to them at all. Remember that conversation and attention is considered a reward to children. In their mind, if you start a conversation, they're receiving a reward. Never reward behavior you don't want repeated. Of course, no hugs, no kisses, no back rubbing, or any other kind of interaction. Every other kind of interaction is a reward. These things can be done all day long, but not after they have been put in bed. If they begin to fuss, cry, or whine at this point, ignore it. If you're a regular follower of the Mommy Answer Lady, you might think, what about the CTM method? The reason you wouldn't use the CTM method this time for the whining or crying is because you don't want to reward their behavior by staying in their room. So in this case, you just put them back in bed without any attention and leave the room. By the way, if you don't know what the CTM method is, see the video on how to stop tantrums for good on this channel. I'll put a link to it up above. I will also put a link in the description below where you can get a download of all the instructions for the CTM method. So basically, you say nothing to them except stay in bed and send them back to their bed. Then repeat, repeat, repeat. Be consistent. Don't give up and don't give in. I say this is a long method because it will take a lot of patience and determination. It will take many, many times of consistency and possibly several nights of doing it before they will get the idea and stay in bed. But it will work if you are consistent. You can do it. You must stay calm, do not get angry, and repeat until they stop getting up. Now I'll tell you the short method. You ask the same 3 questions. Fire? Bleeding? Peter vomited in bed? If the answer is no, you know they are willfully disobeying your instructions. There's only one reason I believe in giving a child a spanking. It is for willful disobedience. If you have made it clear that your child is to stay in bed and they willfully disobey that instruction, this is a time when spanking would be appropriate. But there are 2 criteria for giving a spanking. Number 1, you never give a spanking when you are angry. Second, you only do it when they are willfully disobedient and another consequence related to the behavior isn't available. So spanking should be rare because in most circumstances, it's not an appropriate response to a child's misbehavior. But in this case, it would be appropriate. A short little swat on the upper leg or diaper to show you mean business is okay, as long as it is not abusive and you are not angry. Remember, it is only to train them to know you mean what you say and that their willful disobedience is not acceptable. Now, if you're gasping right now, you probably want to go along with the long method, and that's okay. But keep in mind, the longer this behavior goes on, the longer both you and they have to deal with it. So it isn't necessarily a benefit to them to make the episodes take longer in this case. But if spanking is against your own parental principles, then you can still get them to stay in bed by using the first plan. It will just take a lot longer. You do not need to struggle with your little child at bedtime. Make your expectations clear and follow through with your choice of consequences. Don't reward behavior you don't want repeated. In the description below, there are some links to help get you started. Do you want your child to be excited about going to bed? That can happen too. I am doing a whole series of videos on bedtime issues with little children here on the Mommy Answer Lady YouTube channel. So be sure and subscribe to this channel right now and hit the notifications button. Also, I'd love to hear your comments and questions about bedtime with little ones. I might even use your question as the theme for another video. Parents, you can do this. Thanks for watching.